DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
The volunteer firefighter shortage is taking its toll on Delaware. Plus, Wilmington's parking woes, how one advocate is taking the city to task. And new legislation is being put into place statewide in response to lead contamination in drinking water, what leaders are doing to protect our kids. Those stories and much more straight ahead on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for being with us this evening. Wilmington police have identified the victim who was killed in a double shooting that involved a 14-year-old girl over the weekend. The shooting happened just after 9:30 p.m. on Saturday on the 1800 block of West 3rd Street. At the scene, police located a 47-year-old man suffering gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital in critical condition. He later died there. The victim has since been identified as Antoine Potts. A 14-year-old girl was also found at the scene suffering gunshot wounds. She was taken to the hospital in stable condition. This incident is still under investigation and no arrests have been made. Officials have also not stated what led up to the shooting. Police are also not sure if there's any connection between the teenager and Potts. Anyone with information about this shooting is asked to call 302-576-3646. And Newcastle County Police have issued a warning about a game called Senior Assassination, in which high school seniors track down each other and shoot each other with water guns. The game caused a disturbance in the Dearborn Woods community earlier, resulting in police responding to calls about someone running through the area with a silver and black handgun. Officers located the person and realized that the weapon was not a gun. The game has been reported across the country, but police are warning that while it may seem harmless, it can cause serious consequences and disruptions in communities. Police are urging parents to speak with their children about the potential dangers of this game and to avoid trespassing on private property, operating a vehicle during the game, and using realistic-looking guns. And a 21-year-old University of Delaware student from Edison, New Jersey, drowned over the weekend in Ocean City, Maryland, after going missing near 25th Street. Despite a search by rescue personnel from multiple agencies, the man's body was found early Sunday morning around 4th Street. The student was a junior medical diagnostics major. The university will be providing support to students with counseling staff and a dedicated space for support on Thursday, May 11th at the Perkins Student Center. Staying with the University of Delaware, UD is also investigating a possible hate crime after an English professor found a swastika drawn on a poster outside of her office door. The poster was promoting a drag performance that the professor organized years ago. The university's police responded to the incident, taking the poster. The university stated that it is, quote, deeply disturbed by the expression of hate and is offering support to those affected. No other areas were defaced and the professor's door was undamaged. Delaware State Police are searching for a woman who they say pepper sprayed a group of bicyclists on the Georgetown-Lewis Trail Monday morning. According to authorities, this happened multiple times on the trail. The woman, who appears to be in her mid-20s, has also been previously reported for yelling and spitting at cyclists. Anyone with information about the woman is asked to call police or Delaware Crime Stoppers. Delaware's firefighting community is struggling to find and retain firefighters, which could potentially result in fire protection fees being charged to residents. President of the Claymont Fire Company, Tom DeCristofaro, testified before the Housing Committee of the Delaware State House, stating that despite being a critical service, they just simply don't have the manpower to sustain it, nor do they have enough funding to pay for staffing. Most fire stations here in Delaware operate on the volunteer model, and the state is exploring a hybrid model of paid and volunteer workers. House Bill 127 aims to bridge that funding gap by giving counties the option to create a fire protection fee. However, some critics have expressed concerns over property reassessment and the need for transparency from fire departments on their expenditure. HB 127 is yet to be voted on by the Delaware Senate. The National Volunteer Fire Council reported that 65% of the estimated over 1 million firefighters in the country as of 2022 were all volunteers, the lowest nationwide level since at least 1984. New steps are being taken to eliminate lead from homes and keep it out of children. The state of Delaware plans to spend $3.8 million to install water filters statewide through district and charter schools, a move that coincided Monday with state legislation introduced to remediate lead paint hazards in homes as the first state continues to tackle childhood lead exposure. Here's our Kaylin Pride with more.
Let me be clear. This is a problem that we can solve.
It's been more than 40 years since the dangerous products have been removed from store shelves. With roughly 500 small children testing positive in the state each year, lead-based paint continues to be the leading cause of lead poisoning amongst Delaware children.
But one of the most serious threats to the health and welfare of children here in Delaware and across the country is so pervasive, so ordinary, frankly, that many have largely forgotten that it exists at all.
Often found in high poverty areas, Senate Bill 9 will not only create procedures for state health officials to identify homes that contain exposed lead, but also provide the necessary tools to eradicate lead-based paint in the state once and for all.
For my patients, the youngest citizens of our state, blood lead levels can rapidly increase between 6 and 12 months of age and peak between 18 and 36 months of age.
When that paint peels and cracks, or people do home renovation projects or remodeling such as sanding and scraping and demolition, that is what is creating this hazardous lead dust or these fragments of paint that children are ingesting or inhaling, and it's getting into the body and causing harm.
We're also incentivizing landlords to undertake remediation efforts on their own by including language that will bar them from raising rent for 3 years if the state has to step in to pay for remediation at one of their properties.
There's so much more work ahead of us now to actually see those levels of lead in drinking water and lead in our homes be reduced so that our children's bodies will no longer have to be exposed to any lead at all.
For DETV News, I'm Kaylin Pride.
Delaware is considering joining 10 other states in legalizing medical aid in dying practices with House Bill 140. Also known as the Ron Silverio and Heather Block Delaware End-of-Life Options Act, which was introduced in the House last week. It is backed by House and Senate Democrats, while others are questioning its morality. However, the nonprofit organization Compassion and Choices has been advocating for the passage of this law throughout the country since 1997, when Oregon enacted the Death with Dignity Act, believing that Delawareans deserve the option to end their suffering, while State Representative Rich Collins is critical of the bill, arguing that the state's finances are having a negative impact on the matter and that focus should be on the value of life. But HB 140 will be heard in the House Health and Human Development Committee, and if passed, healthcare providers here in Delaware could choose whether or not they want to participate. A few weeks ago, we introduced you to a video series that's made quite a splash on social media. The series is focused on parking rules here in the city of Wilmington. Ken Grant has been successfully encouraging the city to make it less confusing, more inviting, and less punitive to park in Wilmington. This week's two-part episode of the series explores the appeals process for parking tickets. And as you'll see, there seems to be a problem with scheduling parking ticket appeals with JP Court. Take a look.
So how many weeks, we got 1 to 52, how many weeks do you think it would take to actually get that ticket resolved in JP Court?
I think it should take like maybe 2 weeks. It shouldn't take that long.
Okay.
I feel like a parking ticket, if you have a valid case to appeal it, then it should be appealed. I don't think that it depends on where it was, but just if a person has a valid appeal. I think that it should take at least 2 weeks. They should hear everybody's reasoning on why they shouldn't get the ticket anyway.
How long should it take?
Gosh, I would hope if you're serious about it, you're getting down like 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. How many weeks should it take to get a parking ticket resolved?
I think it should take, I would say 5 weeks.
5 weeks, okay.
No, 5 to 6 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks, all right, that's good.
How many weeks should it take to appeal a parking ticket? I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
Okay.
How many weeks? We got 1 week to 52 weeks.
I say 3.
All right.
I think it should take 3.
So that's 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks, okay. All right, so how long do you think it's been since the last JP court case on parking tickets?
Probably like maybe 5.
All right.
Okay.
How long do you think it's been since the last time a case was
This
heard
is
in
a
JP
setup question. How long? I don't know. How long has it been?
How many weeks?
Well, it's clearly a lot. That's weeks. I'll say 6 months.
How many weeks do you think it's been since a case has been heard in JP court?
They should be having cases every day.
Now, specifically parking ticket cases.
They should be daily.
Should be daily, you think?
Yeah, it should be.
So it should be like 1 week since they've...
I mean, you consider people park here every day.
Right.
I'm sure they have issues. People are appealing every day. So.
Okay, all right. So if you want to go ahead and put a sticker there by 1 week.
How many weeks do I think it's been?
Yes.
I'm not aware of parking ticket resolutions, but I can assume that given the backlogs, maybe 12 weeks.
How many weeks has it been since the last parking ticket case was heard? A week? I'm gonna say a week. They heard one last week, I'm assuming.
You think JP Court heard a parking ticket case last week?
I'm assuming so.
All right. Okay.
No, I'm gonna give them 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Okay. And 1 week, 52 weeks.
20. 20 is a good number. 20.
Okay.
20 weeks.
Well, considering everything that's going on, I'm going to say, 17 weeks? 17 weeks.
All right.
Right about there.
Assume that someone has appealed a ticket and they've been waiting for over a year. Okay. So with that, what should the city do? Should they dismiss the ticket, expedite the hearing so it's done really quick, or should they add some late fees, notify debt collectors, and block the driver from being...
If the person has put in for an appeal,
right,
and they've waited over a year,
yeah,
it should be dismiss the ticket.
So after a year, should the city dismiss the ticket, expedite the hearing as quickly as possible, or should they add late fees, send it out to debt collectors?
Dismiss the ticket.
They should dismiss the ticket. You're saying dismiss
the ticket.
They should kick that thing out of court and actually compensate you, but that's not on here. So I'm going to say
so you're saying dismiss the ticket.
Dismiss that ticket. Get rid of it.
Okay. What should the city do with that ticket?
Why not? I think you should dismiss it.
All right. And
If the person is been waiting for a year after appeal,
right,
then it should be dismissed.
Next question. What does the city do if a ticket's been sitting in limbo for over a year?
Add late fees.
You think so? Yeah. All right. Go ahead and
when it's on them, they add late fees.
All right. Next question is, what do you think the city actually does?
They add fees. I know that. Yeah. I know that. Yeah.
What do you think the city actually does when a ticket hasn't been taken to JP Court in a year?
There you go.
All right. Now the question is, what does the city actually do if it's been sitting there a year and they have not taken it to JP Court?
Oh, they probably put you in the system and start charging you extra money. Try to get a TV show out of it or something.
No, really?
Well, we're asking the question. What
does the city do?
What does happen?
Well, again, I'm being set up here, so I'm guessing that they're adding fees.
Add fees notified. Do they really do that crap?
That's the question. Yeah, I'm asking the question. What do you think they actually do?
What I think they do is expedite a hearing, because I don't think they're trying to dismiss it as quickly as possible. That's what I think they do.
All right. Now the big question. If you've made the request and the city never takes the case to JP Court, but instead adds the fees, is that a violation of due process rights?
Yeah.
And here it's if you're not sure, you can put it somewhere in the middle.
Due process, they should have a hearing, and they shouldn't have to wait a long time for that.
If they never take the case to JP Court, after the citizen makes that request, instead they add collections and everything, do you think that's a violation of due process rights?
Yeah.
Now here, it's yes, no, or not sure. You can put the sticker anywhere in there. So if you're not sure, put it in the middle. You're saying yes.
Tune in tomorrow evening for part 2 of this week's episode. This week is also Arson Awareness Week, and the State Fire Marshal's Office is spreading awareness to the public, especially those with youngsters. This year's theme focuses on understanding and mitigating youth fire setting issues. To coincide with the event, the Delaware State Fire Marshal's Juvenile Fire Setter Intervention Program is their successful diversion program that educates children between ages 2 and 18 about the dangers and consequences of playing with fire. Since 1981, the program has maintained a 3% recidivism rate, with more than 6,000 youth participating in the program over the years. Those interested in contacting program specialists can call 1-800-432-8500 or email the address on your screen. All information will remain confidential, and there is no cost to this program. Heads up, if you have tickets for the David Foster and Catherine McPhee performance at the Grand later this month, the event has been rescheduled. The Grand says that due to unavoidable conflicts in the artist's calendar, David Foster and Catherine McPhee were forced to postpone their upcoming May performances, including the one here in Wilmington. The originally scheduled performance was Saturday, May 20th. It has been rescheduled to next year, Saturday, May 19th, 2024. And if you're still looking for that perfect Mom's Day gift for this Sunday, well, the Grand wants to help you out. There are still tickets available for upcoming shows, including Leanne Rimes, Sherry Shepard, and Kim Whitley, Sarah Evans, and many more. For tickets and info, head to thegrandwilmington.org. The Delaware Commission for Women has announced their 2023 She's on Her Way awardees this week. The award recognizes and celebrates the achievements and contributions of talented young women leaders here in Delaware. Nominees for the award must be Delaware native-born or have been raised in the state for at least 5 years, be between the ages of 18 and 40, and most importantly, must have made a positive impact on the lives of Delawareans. Nominees' positive reputation and leadership among their peers and community must also be demonstrated. This year, the recipients of the She's on Her Way Award are Dr. Lindsay Albanese, partner with Sussex Emergency Associates; Melissa Bryson, Development Director at the American Civil Liberties Union of Delaware; Lashira S. Cabosa, Senior Property Manager at the Edge of Green Tree; and Brenda Wise, Associate General Counsel and Director of Global Government Affairs at CSC. Congratulations to all of those winners. And that's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms and take a look at our website. That's detvch.com. Thanks again very much for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow night.